when I first moved to the UK, I thought I'll be okay with finding a job, especially on a senior and mid-senior level, because that's where my experience lies on. And I had more than 10 years of experience in that mid-senior and senior levels. And I held various positions in Sri Lanka and Ethiopia. And I worked in a large organizations, multinational organizations, and a lot of manufacturing facilities as well. But somehow I couldn't find a suitable job for me. And I believe my CV is really strong and I do have enough experience and I have a strong work ethics. So I thought that my work speaks for myself and my CV is strong enough to apply to these positions. But somehow I've realized that everybody's asking about UK experience, which I don't have at all at that point. So I start amending my CV and I've applied more than 2,500 jobs before I ended up with my current role in a public sector. So this was not an easy journey, and I believe this is same for you as well. So my first advice to you is do not give up. Just make sure that you need to understand what they are looking for and you need to alter and amend your CV based on that. So for me, it was removing certain experience. It was making them more relatable and making sure they understand what I wanted to tell to them, what I wanted to explain in my CV. So today I'm going to talk to you about what mistakes I made and what mistakes you shouldn't make during your job search in the UK to find a suitable opportunity as well as finding your career progression in the UK. My first mistake is I assume that UK system will automatically understand my experience and it'll reward me with a suitable opportunity. But I was wrong. What I did not realize is UK workplaces does not have any mechanism to read foreign experiences. So we need to explain them properly. As I explained in my previous videos, titles in your home country might be different than the titles in the UK. At the same time, when you did not explain what you have exactly done in that role, it might often misunderstood in the UK because title will not give away. At the same time, whoever is reading your CV will not understand that unless otherwise they have experienced it previously. Remember, in UK workplaces, your employer will not automatically understand the scale of your role, responsibilities that you had, or the complexity of your work. For them, your experience and everything in your CV might be considered as unknown context. So you need to explain it properly and you need to make it relatable. This doesn't mean they doubt your ability. It means they don't know how to place it properly. The next mistake I made is when I'm focusing on career progression is I just focus on doing the job well, not being understood. In my early UK roles, I focus on completing the task, meeting deadlines, and avoiding mistakes. With my previous experience, I believe that good work will be noticed. Yes, there are situations the good work will be noticed. For an example, my first job in the UK, I worked as a kitchen staff member for Pizza Express, and within a couple of weeks, I started working. Manager realized my potentials and everything and promoted me as a shift manager. So that was a big leap. But then again, when it's come to the professional setup, this is a bit of a consideration point. And when it's in the professional setup, there's a rare chance you will get like that. Third mistake is I stayed quiet when I should have spoken. It's cultural because in my culture, you don't just jump into the conversation. You don't just interrupt your leaders and seniors. You don't go against your seniors' words or the saying, or you are just waiting for get the chance to speak. But in the UK, you can challenge your seniors. You're supposed to speak because unless otherwise, it's considered as you are incompetent or you don't have confidence or you are not interested on the topic that we are talking on, or else in worse that you don't have any, you are in a comfortable zone and you don't have any potential to grow. The biggest issue is they start thinking that you don't have any new ideas. So you'll be automatically sidelining from the process. The other mistake is I believe that loyalty will be rewarded automatically. And I stayed quiet most of the situation because of I believe that stay loyal, patient and committed is good enough for me to progress in my career. So I stay quiet. I stayed on my lane, waiting for recognition, mainly avoid talking about my ambitions. In the UK, that approach often backfires, especially in professional setup, because managers may assume you are happy with where you are, what you are receiving right now, what you are doing right now. You are comfortable with that. You prefer stability and you don't want any progression. Nobody told me that ambition must be communicated. This was a new thing to me, and I believe it's a new thing to you as well. So, because of that, have these conversations with your manager, even in one-to-one or any other situation. Make sure they knows that you are ambitious and you need to progress in your career. The other mistake is, at the beginning of my career, I took feedback personally rather than strategically. So I work with one of the general manager from the UK back in Ethiopia, and he gave me certain feedback, and I took it very personally, and I stopped talking to him at one point. Then we had a nice chat, and he explained me this is what he's expecting and everything, and that gave me a massive morale boost, and I realized that I'm making the mistake in here. So later, even after I started working in the UK later, I forgot that lesson. So I took these feedbacks personally, but later I realized that taking feedback personally is not the right thing to do. I need to take it strategically. So in my current role, whenever I receive feedback and everything, my first thing is I try to use it strategically, and I try to see that what was the reason behind it, and then I use it strategically. And the next time I start communicating with my manager, right, okay, thanks for giving me that feedback, this is what I've done based on that, and it gives me these results and everything, thanks for doing it for me. So you use that those feedbacks strategically. That'll gives you a good confidence, as well as your manager will understand that you are trainable and you are willing to listen, you are willing to move on. Remember, in the UK workplaces, feedbacks are not attacking, it's more about giving you an opportunity to grow. Once I start taking feedback as data, it helps me to grow. It helps me to grow in my career, it helps me to grow as a person. As a migrant, the other mistake we are making is that we don't ask right career questions early enough. For an example, I never ask about what will be the progression in here, what skills matters most for the next level, how are decisions usually made. So I had to work hard to understand these things. At the same time, I had to observe everything to learn that how these decisions made and everything. So it takes a longer period. Instead of that, it's good to ask these questions and clarify yourself. I actually assumed performance enough would guide me to that, but that was not true. So once I asked better questions, I got clear answers and better clarification. What I eventually learned is UK workplaces are not unfair, it's more unspoken. Competency is expected, communication differentiates. Hardworking is necessary, positioning is making it visible. Cultural value doesn't need to be changed, interpretation does. You don't have to be a someone else, but you need to understand the system. If you are a migrant professional and working in the UK and still feel stuck in your career, you are not alone. You are not behind, you are not incapable, you are not doing everything wrong as well. You are just learning a system that no one explains properly. Once you understand it, you'll move differently with confidence, clarity, and control. This channel exists solely because I did not have any of these conversations at the beginning of my career, and I don't want you to go through the same pathway like me. So I just want to support you and explain how the system works, and I believe this will help someone else to progress in their career. And my expectation is you to learn faster than me and adapt to the system.